Hey everyone. Today we're going to go hard on a theme that a lot of you seem to like, which is about making analogies between some of our Marvel cinematic heroes and ancient Greek or Roman myths. So, for example, let's start off with an easy one, Thor. The character of Thor is based on the Norse god of thunder, and he shares many similarities with the Greek god of Zeus, right? Both are powerful deities who wield thunderbolts and are associated with storms and lightning. Thor has the ability to wield his hammer, Mjolnir, and that's similar to Zeus's ability to wield his powerful thunderbolts. Another myth that I think has some similarities to Thor is actually that of the myth of Perseus and his quest to defeat the Kraken and the Gorgon Medusa. So this feels a lot like Thor, especially in Ragnarok, when he defeats that fire monster. That feels a lot like the Kraken, right? This giant kind of earth-crushing sized monster. And actually, if you think about it, Hela does have some similarities to Medusa, right? At least, Medusa has snakes for hair. Hela has that very big crown. In both of these stories of Perseus and Thor, there's themes of destiny, power, and identity. Loki, like the Greek god of mischief, Hermes, is known for trickery and an ability to shapeshift. That's interesting. Both of them have the ability to shapeshift, and of course, both are the god of tricks or trickery. And they're both associated with the underworld, right? Much like Hades. They both kind of have a relationship with Hades. And again, Loki is related to Hela, at least adopted. Let's talk about Captain America. The character that Captain America is most often compared to is the hero Achilles. Both are known for their incredible strength and fighting abilities, as well as overall leadership skills. If you think about this, Achilles is kind of like a god. He's not quite a demigod. I believe his mother is a demigod, and that makes him maybe a quarter god. I'm not sure how it works. But Achilles is the greatest fighter of his time, virtually unbeatable, unkillable. As you know, he was dipped in a river that was blessed, and so most of his body is basically impenetrable and cannot be harmed except for his Achilles heel. That's what we name our heel after today. That was his weak spot. Captain America, again, not quite a god, but he can kind of hang with the gods, right? He can fight with Thor if he needs to. And both have themes of physical strength, bravery, and perseverance in both myths, right? You think about Achilles, it's a lot about that, I can do this all day mentality that that Captain America has. Let's talk about Iron Man. I think there's two here for Iron Man. The first is that Iron Man is compared to the Greek god of fire and metalworking, Hephaestus. Like Hephaestus, Stark is a genius inventor and engineer. His suit is made of advanced technology, right? Hephaestus is kind of like the Greek god of invention. Again, at the time it was metalworking. He was, able to build kind of anything out of metal. Another really interesting myth that I think Iron Man has perhaps more in common with is the myth of Daedalus. Daedalus is known for having made many creations. A wooden cow. He made actually the labyrinth that imprisoned the Minotaur for the king of Crete. And he's probably most famous for having created wings, which his son used, right? They both flew, and Daedalus told his son not to fly too low, not to fly too high. If he flew too high, the wings would melt. If he flew too low, they would get wet with the ocean water, and he would die, and that is what happened to his son. So there's kind of a tragic story to his inventions. And, of course, Iron Man, Tony Stark, is, an inventor, right? He's invented lots of different things from the Iron Man suit, right, the arc reactor, barf, and beyond. So just like Daedalus, he is known for more than one creation. And again, I think there's like a tragedy to his creations, to the things that he has made. Black Widow. Again, I think there's two potential analogies here. Natasha Romanoff is a skilled spy and assassin. And in Greek myth, there is the character of Atalanta. And Atalanta was an orphan, just like Black Widow. Atalanta was raised by a bear, right? And Atalanta, if you know her story, she is basically really, really tough. She's raised by a bear when she's abandoned by her father. She, during her lifetime, kills 2 centaurs. She goes on a quest for the Golden Fleece. She beats this guy named Peleus in a wrestling match. She sails with the Argonauts. She has a lot of adventures. She's kind of her own, Hercules type character. She's known as like a great huntress. And again, you can already get some of the similarities, right? Natasha Romanoff is a spy, an assassin. She can fight with pretty much anybody, right? And again, there's these themes of being abandoned by your parents and being raised by a bear or by the spy assassin family. I forget what they're called. Another analogy that you could make is that Black Widow is like the goddess Athena, who's known for her wisdom, intelligence, and strategic thinking, right? Like Athena, Black Widow is a skilled strategist and a formidable opponent in battle. I think this analogy is a little bit weaker, but it's worth mentioning. Hulk. Again, I think there's two characters that the Hulk kind of can be compared to. The first is the Greek mythical figure of the Minotaur, right? It's a powerful creature with superhuman strength and animalistic traits. We think of the Minotaur as kind of anthropomorphized, kind of a human, but just out of control, rage-like. Both are known for their rage and an uncontrollable nature. Another one is the Cyclops, right? And in Greek mythology, the Cyclops is a one-eyed monster known for strength and ferocity. And like the Cyclops, Hulk is a powerful being with immense strength and fearsome appearance. And again, talking about, before we become Professor Hulk, just Hulk, neither the Cyclops nor Hulk are really known for their intelligence. They are just truly formidable beasts. They are human-like, not quite human, but what makes them so dominant is just their pure strength. Next, we have Star-Lord, also known as Peter Quill. And he can be seen as a modern-day version of the Greek hero Odysseus, right? If you know anything about Odysseus, he's a hero who is flung away far from home and, is an amazing strategist, skilled leader, right? Just like Star-Lord. And a lot of what Odysseus is known for is being able to think on his feet and improvise in difficult situations. Both characters have a knack for kind of getting themselves into trouble, but always finding a way out of it. And of course, both are kind of on a quest to find home. Odysseus eventually does find his way home. Peter Quill finds his home with the Guardians of the Galaxy, but there's still something kind of missing. And again, both have a ship, right? Peter Quill has a spaceship. Odysseus has a seafaring ship, but both are captains of that ship with a ragtag crew that gets into all kinds of trouble, but again, always finds their way out. Gamora can be compared to the Greek goddess of the hunt, Artemis. Both Gamora and Artemis are skilled warriors and fierce fighters. They also have a strong sense of loyalty and are willing to do whatever it takes to protect those that they care about. Drax the Destroyer can be seen as a modern version of the Greek god of war, Ares. Both Drax and Ares are incredibly powerful and skilled in combat, and one of the things that makes them most powerful is their endurance. It's really hard to hurt Drax. It's really hard to hurt Ares. They also share a tendency towards violence and a desire for revenge. They kind of have, for Drax, that is his inspiring moment, is this, idea of revenge against Thanos. And same with Ares. That is very much what fuels him. Groot can be compared to the Greek god of nature, Pan. You've probably maybe seen the movie Pan's Labyrinth or heard of Pans. Both Groot and Pan are seen as primitive and wild. They have a strong connection to nature. They also both have childlike innocence and a carefree attitude. Again, Pans are often thought of as like almost fairies or pixies. And just like we see Groot, he is, there's adult Groot, but there's also baby Groot. And baby Groot is carefree and fun and silly, kind of like a fairy or a pixie. Rocket Raccoon can be compared to the Greek trickster god Hermes. Again, similar to Loki. Both Rocket and Hermes are known for their intelligence and resourcefulness. They also share a tendency to bend the rules and use their wit to get out of tricky situations. Another one who can be compared to Hermes actually would be Ant-Man, right? Because Ant-Man can shrink in size and communicate with insects. Hermes, again, is known for his ability to change his size and shape. This is something where Hermes is similar to Ant-Man, but also Loki. And also, Hermes is associated with thieves and trickery. And don't forget, Ant-Man, when we first meet him, he's in jail. He's friends with people who are in jail. He's basically a thief. I actually think there's a lot more examples and analogies that could be made, but I wanted to start off with a few. I know there's some overlap and there's two for ones here, but I thought it'd be a fun thing to kind of explore. Let me know what you think, and yeah, like, share, leave comments. Let me know if I should go into any of these in more detail.